Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of evaluating functions. This is standard A.12B in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 47 off the 2017 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. Alright, so p of x equals, and then we've got this expression right here. What is the value of p of 11? So this notation right here, this is actually called function notation. And typically, we are going to not necessarily see it as p of x. Most of us are used to seeing it as f of x. Sometimes we'll see it as g of x, even h of x. Never actually seen p of x before, but it all does the same thing. So we're actually doing two things. First, we're naming the function. Okay, so the name of this function is p. So this is a function named p, and when we put it in this function notation, when we say, all right, p of x or f of x or g of x, we are calling out the fact that it is a function. So when we specifically let you know in math that it is a function with f of x, g of x, p of x, we let you know that it has a function relationship. So remember, that means that each input leads to one output. So when we're talking about inputs and outputs, we're talking about our independent and our dependent variables. And so remember, we usually visualize that if we have a graph with the vertical line test. We're drawing vertical lines on our graphs to make sure that it only touches the graph once. Because if it does, then it's a function. If it touches the graph more than one time on a vertical line test, it's not a function, because each input can possibly lead to more than one output. So all of this means we have a function. It is p of x. Now, when we get to this p of 11, what that means is we are going to specifically evaluate x equals 11. That's all that means, is we're going to specifically substitute in 11 for x, because that 11 took the x spot here. And so what we're going to use is we're going to use the order of operations that we've been using since the 6th grade. Some of us even learned that in the 5th grade. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So we deal with our parentheses first. We deal with our exponent next. Now, one thing I always want to make a point of is that multiplication and division are inverse operations. They are equal. They're opposites. So they can be evaluated in any order left to right. So if you're going into an operation and you see a division before multiplication, you can actually do that division first. Same with addition and subtraction. They are inverse operations, and they can be done in either order, left to right. Just those two within that level, and then those two within that level. So let's substitute in 11 using our order of operations. So p of 11, so I'm just going to simply substitute in this 11. And then that's going to be a plus 1 plus 16. Okay, so we're going to deal with the parentheses first, but within that parentheses, we have two things happening. We have an exponent, and then we've got the addition, the 11 squared plus 1. Well, obviously, the exponent comes before the addition, so we need to simplify that exponent first. So that's going to be 5. 11 squared is 121. Now we can do the plus 1. Okay, and now we can do our addition. So p of 11, 5 times 122. All right, and then that's going to be plus 16. And let's see, now we're going to do 5 times 122. You can pull out your calculator, or you can just do it like this if you don't want to bother with that. All right, so that's going to be 610. Now we're going to deal with that. It's going to be 610 plus 16, which makes D, 626.